Hi, welcome to Verse of the Day. My name is Brandon Hathaway. I preach at the Westside Church of Christ in Owensboro, Kentucky. I want to thank you for joining me today. As we open up our Bibles, we're turning to Jeremiah chapter 21, looking at verses 7 through 9. Jeremiah 21, verses 7 through 9. Here reads, it says, "Afterwards, declares the Lord, I will give Zedekiah the king of Judah, and his servants, and the people in the city, who survive the pestilence, sword, and famine, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of their enemies, into the hand of those who seek their lives. He'll strike them down on the edge of the sword. He shall not pity them, or spare them, or have compassion. And to this people you shall say, Thus says the Lord, Behold, I set before you a way of life and the way of death. He who stays in this city shall die, by the sword, by famine, by pestilence. But he who goes out and surrenders to the Chaldeans, who are besieging you, shall live, and shall have his life as a prize of war." As we read this chapter, again, it starts off asking for the words of God. Will he help them push the Babylonians away, the Chaldeans? And God says no. Because of their sin, they are going to be punished. And he even goes into the point that there are going to be a lot that die by the sword. If they don't die by the sword, then pestilence and famine, they're being punished. But he gives them a way of life, right? He says, I'm giving you life and a way of death. The way of death is if you stay in the city and you continue to rebel and you fight against them. But if you choose to live, then he's saying you need to submit to what I'm doing. You need to submit to my punishment, basically, right? You have to be going out and forfeit, give up, allow the Chaldeans, allow the Babylonians to take you. Allow Nebuchadnezzar to take you. And with that, they would get to live. They would continue to live, allow their, to be able to bear children, to be able to return one day. And so sometimes, again, part of the decision we have to make is submitting to God's punishment, submitting to God's discipline. We have to be willing to accept that discipline, own up to it. So often that's what gets a lot of people in trouble, is they don't want to be punished. And it's children, and more than just children, but children's what I can think of as I have them. I can think of my own times in doing it, but we get caught up, and just because you don't want to get in trouble, you end up telling a lie, which gets you in more trouble, right? Because you don't want to own up to it, you don't want to disappoint somebody, you don't want to get in trouble, so you simply push it off. But here God's saying, submit to my discipline. You guys are going to be punished one way or another. The question is are you going to die, or are you going to submit and live? Yes, they're going to be servants. Yes, they'd have to be taken back and have to serve Nebuchadnezzar, but they would be able to continue to live. And so we have to be willing, when we make mistakes, face the consequences, so that we can overcome those things and hopefully one day be right again in the sight of God. I want to thank you for joining me today. Hope everybody has a blessed day today, and if the Lord is willing, talk to you later.